I was going through some old pictures that I had, and I came across these pictures of this Cliff microphone. And this has kind of an interesting history behind it because I knew all about this microphone before it hit the market or before anybody really knew about it. And one thing about the relationship with dealers with vendors is sometimes you have a really good relationship and they'll tell you what they're working on and what's coming, just so you have a heads up and you know what how to position things or even give them feedback. And this was, I have a really great relationship with Doug Fern, and we're always I used to sell a ton of his mic pre's and the compressors, and then they're really great pieces. They're home runs every time. If you can afford it and you heard it, you would buy it, and it's as simple as that. But I was out talking to him one day, and I said, "What are you working on that's new?" And he said, "Well, he's always been a huge fan of ribbon microphones, and the funny thing is he got me hooked up with AEA to become a ribbon microphone dealer, and I bought the whole AEA line of microphones, and this is kind of a sidestep, but I had the whole AEA microphone line, and I used to send them out for people to try them, and everybody loved them, but I couldn't sell them. It just, I couldn't close the deal, even though they loved it and they took pictures of themselves in the studio with it and they would record with it. They would always return them and go, "They're the great microphones," but they just, I don't know if they had it in their budget or I just couldn't put my finger on it. What was the problem with the ribbon microphones? But anyways, Doug got me in touch with them, and they made me a dealer. And he's always been a big fan of ribbon microphones, so he was developing his own ribbon microphone. And Doug actually had a mic pre that was specifically made for ribbon microphones. So he had a friend, Cliff Hendrickson, I think is his name, and I think he's in New Jersey. And him and Doug were working on this ribbon microphone for a long time. And I think the way Doug wanted to position this is sell the microphone with the ribbon microphone preamp, so it'll be a package. And at a certain point, I think Doug just didn't have any more time to spend on the microphone, and he had to work on some other things. And Cliff, I think, went in a different direction with it, and decided to just sell the microphone as is with no preamp with it. So at the beginning, I posted. You'll see pictures as I'm talking. This microphone, it's pretty impressive looking, big and hefty, and actually, Cliff sent me an early one to try out, and there were some issues with it that I pointed out and sent it back to them, and they addressed them right away. But it's a big, hefty microphone, and what eventually happened is distribution was handled through Ocean Way Audio, and then Ocean Way Audio dealers had to call them to become a dealer for it. So. But I thought this was kind of an interesting story. It could have been a DW Fern microphone. And what I did is I did a little research and I found a few videos. And I think the earliest one I found was from 2014 where Cliff is talking about the microphone. And you'll see he's at the Doug Fern, the DW Fern booth. And you can see Doug sitting in the background and he's talking about the microphone. And I found another video what Sound on Sound did. And at that point, Ocean Way is handling distribution, and the price dropped. It was $2,600 or $2,700. It dropped down to $2,100. And then there's a third video. I'll see if I'll put that one up. And that's the guy from Ocean Way talking about the microphone because they made some kind of modification to it, and now I see them selling for $2,600. So the price went back up again. But a very, very interesting microphone. Very heavy. I've really never heard it in its final stage, but if Doug was involved with it, it sounded fantastic. So I'll put the pictures in the background and you can see this microphone and see what you guys think. But that's the story of the day.
This is Cliff Mike's RM1 ribbon microphone. And one of the things it does is these two squares are neodymium magnets, basically like the A-bomb of permanent magnets. And you can't see all this, but the magnetism gets focused in the gap of where the ribbon is, and I'm getting 1 Tesla of magnetic field. It's a very intense magnetic field. So this is a real advancement for a ribbon mic, because it has a very, very smooth, nice, pretty high end. It sounds beautiful, and it does not have any noise. It's got a preamplifier. Here's the label. It's got a preamplifier. It was developed in collaboration with the LR Bags company in Nipomo, California. It's all phantom powered. You just plug it in and it sounds normal. It's a very simple recording tool that gives professional results to anyone.
How much is it?
$2,700, a little $26.99. So basically $2,700 US. You can buy it online at cliffmics.com. And I'm Cliff. I've been in the speaker business all my life. This is a new venture for me. And but everything I know about electroacoustics, I applied to this microphone.
We're here at the AES show in New York on the Ocean Way audio booth with Cliff Henriksen, who's going to show us a new ribbon microphone. So, Cliff, the RN1.
Yep.
Tell us about it. What's it all about?
Brand new. It's a very common ribbon format. It's a large format ribbon, and you can actually see it in there. But I've made some major improvements. This whole case is about 8 pounds, and that's because it's a magnetic circuit, and these 2 squares are big chunks of neodymium, and there's a huge amount of magnetic field inside at the ribbon. So I got, compared to an older ribbon I got a 6 dB improvement in overall level. And there's also a phantom powered preamp built into the microphone. It's very, very sophisticated hi-fi discrete electronics. And right now it's being compared with large diaphragm condenser mics in terms of bandwidth and in terms of noise. I mean, there's no noise when you record with this thing. It's really a pleasure to work with. And also it's got you see a fabric grill. I really didn't want to put a metallic grill on this, because when they make that noise, they make that ting ting noise. So this whole design evolved into a fabric grill on the outside and a fabric grill on the inside. You can see a rectangular frame, and it's a pop filter. And you simply can't P-pop this mic, which is another unusual thing for a ribbon.
So can you tell us a bit about the high frequency response then?
Goes all the way out past 20K, goes all the way down to 20 hertz. It's a full bandwidth. It's a high fidelity microphone, pure and simple.
And in terms of shock mounting, because this is a solid,
this is a solid mount. If you put this mic on a regular stand with this thing, and you have a singer jumping around on a wood floor, it's all going to get right into the mic. This is a shock mount with marine grade bungees, and when you put this mic, it weighs about 8 pounds. When you put it on there, it resonates about 2 hertz, and basically the thing becomes an inertial platform. You get very pure vibration of the ribbon. A lot of really lightweight mics, you can hold them in your hand and talk on them. You can feel them vibrating. So you don't want the microphone body to vibrate, because it'll intermod with the the ribbon. This is not going to be moving when you talk into it with the shock mount.
So how much then do these cost, and when are they available?
These are available now. You can contact Ocean Way Audio, and there are dealers nearby. At this show, we're getting more and more dealers all the time, actually. This is its introduction. These are $2,100 US, and the shock mount's $150.
Okay.
Whoops.
Not that one.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much, Cliff.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Hi, Sam from Sound on Sound here at the AES show in Los Angeles. I'm with Alan Sides, the owner of Ocean Way Studios. Hi, Alan.
Once again, thank you.
And under the Ocean Way audio brand, they're showing this very interesting ribbon microphone, the RM1B. Tell us a bit about this.
Well, it's sort of intriguing. A lot of ribbon microphones that we think of, generally, even though there's aspects about the character ribbon microphones that we like, they tend to be a bit quirky. I mean, most of the time we choose one, it's because we're looking for an artifact. This microphone is a bit more neutral. It has the positive characteristics of a ribbon microphone, but it sounds, in certain respects, more like a really great period U47. It has, like, as a vocal mic, it's quite spectacular sounding. Extremely smooth response all the way out to 25 kilohertz. It does not roll off. The biggest difference physically is that it has this phenomenal neo-medium magnet structure. So it has almost double the Gauss in the gap of almost any other ribbon microphone. So it puts out significantly more level, greater sensitivity. And the other thing is the mechanical structure on the ribbon. Most of the existing ribbon microphones are based on earlier designs. This is a complete departure.
Okay, tell us a little more about that.
Well, you see, the problem is, like in the early RCA microphones and even the B&O ribbons, which is kind of what Royer is based on, the physical structure around the ribbon, especially the wavelengths, very high frequencies, has a dramatic effect on the sound. The premise was how to create the structure around the ribbon so that it didn't negatively affect the sound sonically. So we wanted something that sounded completely neutral, had no real character, just sounded natural. We also wanted something that had greater sensitivity. So this microphone, apart from having about 8 dB more level just because of the magnetic flux, it also has a discrete amplifier that's phantom powered, very fast, very wide bandwidth. And if you plug this in, it puts as much level out as a 47.
So looking at it, I can see some very distinctive aspects to the design. Like the shape of the pole pieces in particular looks as though that's been quite important.
It's a change. I mean, obviously, because the magnetic structure is so strong, if you put it near anything that's big, the metal will pop right. It's a heavy microphone, but it took that to achieve the performance goals we had in mind.
Okay, and it's presumably a figure 8 mic, like any classic
is.
ribbon. Yeah.
But one of the top scoring mixers in LA had a chance to put these up as overalls compared to a set of M50s. And he was quite shocked at how good they sounded. And a lot of people who have been just amazed. Where you normally think of ribbon microphones for, well, I'm going to use it on the horns, or I'm going to use it on this, or guitar amp, and then all of a sudden you put it overhead drums, and you put a couple of API cues on it, a plus 4 12-phase shelf, and you say, that's ridiculous.
Sure, because normally with a ribbon mic, you expect a gentle roll off from
Exactly.
maybe 12, 15K up. But this goes flat to 25K.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not. But like the thing we like about ribbons is they're not sibilant, and it's not just it's the way that the ribbon responds, because compared to the condenser diaphragms, they tend to make S's sound very silky, not as harsh. Because I mean, a great microphone like 47, it almost exaggerates the S's. They get to be a little more unpleasant. In this thing, you get both worlds. You get smooth, silky highs that actually sound more like you're actually talking.
Sure, because there are no resonances in the audio region in the ribbon, whereas with a condenser mic, that's typically what you get.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate,
Fantastic. So is this available to buy now?
Available now.
And what sort of price are we looking at?
This microphone sells for about $2,600 retail.
Fantastic.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Thanks very much, Alan.
I appreciate it.